Happy Thursday, everyone, and welcome. I am just going to share a few thoughts today to those of you specifically. I hope you're finding this if you really struggle with being uber responsible. I hear this a lot from my patients, and so I just want to put some of my thoughts out there. Hopefully, this will help you guys. If you realize that, well, let's say that there's two sides to really a lot of the traits that you might have. And on the positive side, being someone who's very, very responsible means that you are likely a strong leader, that you see needs and you show a lot of initiative. Um, you attract people to you. You know how to solve problems. You're not afraid of conflict. I mean, a lot of these things can be a part of your story, maybe not all of them, but some of them for sure. But the downside is going to look like this. You probably are going to struggle with boundaries. You are probably going to catch yourself, or maybe not, enabling other people, fusing together with people in unhealthy ways because you are the responsible one. You are the one who sees the need, and so you sort of take over. You probably struggle with control. How does this apply, or how does this connect with your faith? Because that's always what I want to talk about is if you are struggling with your human relationships and having a difficult time finding the right boundary for you and other people. Because let's face it, when you are someone who is really, really responsible, what goes along with all of those traits that are very God given traits, I don't want you to hear a wrong message here. There's some wonderful, wonderful things about this kind of person. They can be a type A person. Maybe they're not, but likely they are. And you resemble wonderful godly traits as a result of this. Like I said, you're a strong leader. You can also be a strong follower, right? You understand that there are people that know more than you do, and sometimes you put yourself in positions where you want to learn from them. Those are all great things. But here's where it can become a problem, and here's where it can also relate to your faith. If you're struggling in your human relationships in ways of wanting to control things and take over things, you have a lot of anxiety. You might even have either traits or diagnoses such as generalized anxiety disorder, major depressive disorder, obsessive compulsive disorder, just to name a few. And there's no way that those traits are only going to stay in these lateral relationships between you and other humans. It's going to have to go vertical. It might take you a while to get there. It might take you time in therapy, as I know it has with some of my patients. But eventually you realize that what you're doing is you're doing the exact same thing with the Lord. If He's not acting on your timeline, if you don't see that He is even acting, or maybe you're not even going to Him and requesting the things that you think that you need, then you take over there too. You feel very responsible for your life. You feel responsible for other people's lives and their choices. And so there is a distortion that I talk a lot about in my online program, The Christian Method. And it is projection and blame. And what happens with that distortion is that someone who really struggles with off the charts responsibility and control, when something goes wrong, they tend to be the one to absorb that. So rather than letting the chips fall where they may and letting people take accountability for the things that they've done, they look at it with this self-talk as, what did I do? What did I miss? What did I not do? How did I let this happen? And it goes on and on and on. And so, yes, there's always a spiritual component to all things, I believe. And that is, I know if you are watching this channel, chances are you really care about your relationship with Christ. And you want it to be the best relationship that you have. You want it to be healthy. You want to be seeking Him. You want to be living your life as a disciple. And I'm telling you from a lot of experience that this is something that can really get in the way. You don't want to do the same thing that you're doing with other humans with the Creator. You don't want to take over. And I literally mean you don't want to be the one doing that, right? You don't want to do that. But chances are you probably don't realize that that's what the barrier is, and you don't know how to fix it. And that's where I could come in. I know a lot about this, And I am here to help people that struggle with depression and anxiety and other mood disorders, especially believers in Christ that want to apply biblical concepts to their mental health so that they are living lives in freedom. They are living lives that Jesus has promised for us to have, where we prosper in a lot of different ways in life, and that we grow close to Him and we bear His likeness and His image, the way that He created us. So, as always, I say this in almost all of my messages, contact me and set up an assessment so I can talk with you about what you're struggling with and see if this is something that can help you. I'm giving these little snippets when I can to talk about things that I know impact lives. But my program goes into lots and lots of deep work to actually come out on the other side. And so I'm here to help you. I have a strong passion for mental health, as you can tell. I really want to see people living the lives that they're destined to have and to be happy and to have less episodes. And I promise you, I've seen it with my own eyes in my practice. It can happen. You can have less episodes of anxiety and depression and bipolar disorder, but you have to learn very specific things that the Bible completely supports and even came up with. Applying those things as your core beliefs. So, if you contact me or you keep watching these videos and you learn everything that you can, my goal for you is that you are going to have a goal of having less episodes, because you know that it's possible. Whether you have a diagnosis or not, chances are you've had bouts of depression or anxiety or other mood disorders. And you want to be able to maybe pare down some of the medications you're taking. Maybe you want to just be on the right medications. But you will need to learn your thought patterns. You will need to learn the ways that your thinking is distorted. You will need to learn how to change your core beliefs, and you will need to learn how to have a more biblical-based worldview so that the things that you are believing and telling yourself and feeling and the choices you're making are in alignment with the Lord, not another person. So see, it comes back full circle. Those of you that struggle with being really, really responsible, the center of your life, you want to be the Lord, but there's probably times that you realize that it's honestly not. It might be you're the one that you listen to most often, you're the authority that you seek, and it might be out of codependency traits that you're looking at somebody else. You're looking at your spouse, you're looking at your community, you're looking at the impact, you're looking at what am I trying to say? You're looking at just the world. I'll just say it that way. You're looking at the world, the influence of the world and the culture. And that is always going to cause a very negative ripple effect where you don't get better. You don't see progress. You don't have less episodes. You actually can have more. So I hope this encourages you today. Again, I'm speaking from a lot of personal and professional experience when I say that being responsible is a wonderful trait, but be careful. Be careful whom it attracts you to. Be careful that you are seeking to understand the difference between being responsible to someone and being responsible for someone. And hey, I'm going to make a recommendation. Check this out. Okay, minus the word workbook. Check out the book Boundaries. This is what it looks like. And the authors are Dr. Henry Cloud and John Townsend. I'll show it one more time. This is a fantastic resource. It is biblically based. It is psychology through and through. These are both professionals that have written this book, and they will absolutely talk through, again, in detail, what I've been sharing with you today. Have a blessed, blessed day. And leave comments if this is something that encourages you or supports you, and share it with others. I'll see you next time.